if winter was like this, I could handle winter. Mm-mm.
Fair enough.
I'm not a winter person. I'm a spring and summer person. And
Fair enough. Winter is tough, especially in Vermont.
I know, yeah. So where are you?
I'm in Boston, and today I'm at a different house than usual because I'm quarantining for the next 14 days so I can go to Vermont.
Oh, that
Yes,
sofa that's behind you.
yes.
Looks like it has a slip cover.
I don't know if it does. And I don't think it does, but maybe. This house that I'm in is very old.
Yeah.
It might have a slip cover.
Pick up the skirt at the bottom and just look underneath there.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It has the whole cover over it. Cool.
Yeah, I like that. I at this point I don't want to buy new sofas, and I've got perfectly good sofas, only they're not the color I would like. But that's looks nice. I like that.
Oh, that's how they changed the color of it.
Yeah, yeah. Ask
Cool.
them where they got it.
I will. I'll ask her for you. She's
All right.
this nice woman who my boyfriend is related to let us have her house here. She's not here right now, but I'll text her
Oh, that'd
because
be great.
we have a roommate and we couldn't quarantine with a roommate.
Oh,
He goes out to the public.
yeah.
So we have the house to ourselves, but I'll ask her. That's great.
Nice. Where in Boston?
We're in Beacon Hill.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Too bad we can't explore the neighborhood, but that's all right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Cool. Well,
can if you put your mask on, right?
I know. Maybe it seems like it could be dangerous. I don't know. Because
They
the
say you
other
don't
day,
have to.
yeah,
They say you don't have to do it for 14 days now.
I know they did just release that. We were pondering, could we just do 7 and get a test or 10? But we decided 14 was the safest option, so let's just go for that.
Yeah. Where are you going in Vermont?
I'm gonna be going to. Do you know the Becks?
Oh, Tim and Wendy?
Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
there.
oh, really? That's right
Yeah.
around the corner from where I live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim was a good friend of my boss of
Buff. Yes.
30, 35 years.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes, I'll be going there. And so we want to be extra safe for them. So we're going to do 14
Oh,
days
yeah. Yeah.
quarantine.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
You know, Tim and Wendy do this too. I
Oh,
trained
really?
them this morning. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. They work
oh,
with me every Monday and Thursday at 7 a.m.
oh my gosh. Is
I
that
know.
right?
Yes.
Oh, oh.
Cool. Well, should we get started?
All right. I'll put down my newspaper and my little dog is watching me.
Oh, cute. How's it going with those other dogs next door?
Oh, well, I worry about when I go out um that they're going to be around, and what will I do
Mhm.
if they come? Do I take a stick with me?
That's good.
And they if my dogs had done that, I would restrain them, I mean, I wouldn't give them the chance to do it again.
I know. I'm surprised that whoever the owner is doesn't do
I
anything different.
know, I know. Yeah.
Probably very
Well, I
annoying.
think he thinks that the dog did it because he was protecting him. And if he's not here,
Mm,
then
that's
he's so
fair.
cute.
Isn't that your little dog?
Yes. Oh, he's
What?
so adorable.
What's his name?
Sparky.
Sparky. Cool. I saw him
Sparky.
once on the camera. He looks pretty cute.
He is adorable.
That's
He's a
awesome.
brat, but he's cute too.
How old is he?
I don't know. He was a rescue, so we really don't know much about him.
Cool. Is he like very rambunctious, or he's pretty good
Uh,
now?
well, he's a devil.
That's hilarious.
and and he loves to run, and I can't run with him, and he just wants so badly to run. And
That's funny.
so
That's cute. All right, so today we're going to get started with the head. I want you to just think about bringing your left ear over to your left shoulder and keeping your eyes open and just getting a nice stretch in the neck there. You can let that opposite arm hang kind of heavy and just feel the stretch count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up to neutral. And then you can go ahead and do that on the other side. So then you'd bring the right ear to the right shoulder and feel that stretch here. If you want to make that stretch more intense, you can bring that other arm down and just count down from 5. And then you can come back up to neutral. And then the other stretch we're going to do is bring our chin tucked to our chest. So bringing it there so you get a stretch on the back of the neck. And just don't forget to breathe when you do this, and you can move your head side to side to keep getting that stretch. And then you can come back up to neutral. The next thing we're going to do is
what was that? Oh, your chin. I heard shin.
Oh, sorry,
and I
chin.
thought, oh dear, I'm watching you and I'm not seeing you do anything.
Your chin to your chest. And then you
Okay.
can just bring your head side to side really easily to feel a stretch in the back of your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to breathe while you're doing this, and then you can slowly come back up to neutral. And then we're going to activate some little muscles in the back of our neck by imagining that someone is pushing our chin back into our face. So from the side, it looks like this. It's like I'm trying to force a double chin, and then I release it, and then I try to force that double chin and release it. And I just want you to do 5 of those. You can also put your fingers on your chin and help push it back. Not hard, but just to cue it. And it will trigger these little muscles in the back of your neck that we don't use very often, so you might feel it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then once you are done with that,
Yep.
Hi.
we're going to go. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm fine today. Thank you.
Cool. You're just in time for our warm-up. We
Oh,
are
good.
going with the arms straight ahead, and we're imagining we have those paintbrushes in them, and just think about using your wrists only to draw a circle 5 times in one direction, and then 5 times in the other direction. How are you today, Joe?
Good. A little cooler.
I know that we were just talking. It's chilly.
Yeah.
All right. Once you've done those wrists, we're going to move to the shoulders. So I want you to think about just rolling your shoulders in a backward circle for 5. So we can do that together. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll do the same thing for a forward circle. So you want to think about rolling your shoulders forward in a circle, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then once you're done with that, you can bring your legs to be a little bit more than hip width apart and let your hands hang down by your side. When you're both there, let me know.
Yep.
And we're just going to let our torso rotate side to side and let our hands hang. And it's going to give us a nice little stretch in our back. So you're in control of how far you go. You can go really far, or you can just sort of stay where you are and let your hands do the work. But it should feel good. And you can start to slow this down, really slowly bringing it back to the center until you stop. And then we're going to go to the hip. And so I want you to think about making circles with the hip. You're going to make 5 in one direction and 5 in the other direction. And the goal of all of this today is just to warm up the joints, tell our body like, hey, we know that all these parts are here. We're going to get ready to use them. So be ready. So you want to go 5 in each direction. If you have any pain at all today, you can let me know. I also want you to remember that you're in charge of what we're doing. So if we're doing big hip circles and you suddenly feel pain out here, you can just first try to make those a little bit smaller and see if that helps. But you can also always let me know too, and I will help you find a modification. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the ankles. So if you have a chair near you, you can use that so you're not worried about balance. If you have really good balance and you don't want to use anything, that's fine. But we're going to pick one leg up off the ground and we're going to rotate our ankle. So I like to think about drawing a circle with my big toe on the ground. Nice. And I go 5 times in one direction and 5 times in the other direction. I like your shirt, Joe.
Oh, it's sweater.
Sweater, and I like that color a lot.
Oh, good.
And then we're going to go on the other leg 5 times and 5 times.
Should I be doing physical therapy for my shoulder?
Yes, if your shoulder bothers you, I think physical therapy is always a great thing to do. Those guys are very specialized in what they do, and that's not something that we can say that we can do. So I think it's never a bad idea. I know during COVID, it can be a little bit more tricky, but there's some ways you might be able to convince them to come to your house or do things online, but it's never a bad idea.
Mhm.
All right, so the first thing that we're going to do today is something similar to what we did last week, but it's called a step over. So I'm going to imagine that I'm stepping over something in the room, and I want you to just think about taking the leg closest to the middle and picking it up really as high as you can to step over this imaginary object and then bringing it back. And we're going to go ahead and do 5 of these on each side. So you're going to feel it in your hips. You might notice your hips pop or make noise. That's not a bad thing as long as you don't feel any extreme pain. Our joints have a lot of air in them. Sometimes we can think of it like rust on them if we haven't used them a lot. And they make all kinds of noises. Nice. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, cool. And once we're both done that, we're going to go to the squat, which we also did last time. This is just going to help us continue to get warmed up and incorporate some fundamental movements. So your feet are a little bit more than hip width apart, and you're imagining that you're trying to sit into a chair, but the weight of your body is on the balls of your feet. And you're really just thinking about sitting back into that chair until you get about chair height, using these muscles in the front to do it, and standing back up. I want you to do between 6 and 10 of those, depending on how you're feeling, but the goal is really to work these muscles in the front of the leg. Only go as low as you comfortably can and stand all the way back up. Edie, the thing I would say about your shoulder is TTs can be really great. I think that it's important to always advocate for yourself with them too. The ones in Vermont particularly are usually pretty good, but in some places, like especially where I am in Boston, you can find these places that are sort of like a factory, and they kind of do the same
Right.
thing with everybody, and that's not good because that's not necessarily what you need.
Yeah. Mhm.
So if you feel like your therapist or anyone you work with isn't getting you where you need to go, always feel free to advocate to the, it's not that they're necessarily going to find a reason why your shoulder hurts, but it's more that they should be looking at an individual approach of how to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I have bone on bone, and I'm limited, about what I can do. There's certain things I just can't do. And
There,
today it feels pretty good, but there are other days,
feels
weather,
bad.
where they're not so great. It's
Fair
not so
enough.
great. My other one is fine, but
All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we talked about posture last time. And to touch on that posture and why it's great that you guys did that last time is we're going to work on the feet a little bit today. We're going to think about how our feet are designed and try to use them how they were designed. So our feet are designed to be very springy. So I'll show you this concept and then we'll do it together. But basically, a lot of times we will walk and we'll take a big step and we'll put our heel down first, and then we'll walk forward. But our heel is not springing and it's not designed to take that kind of load. So this requires my knees to bend and then to bring force down and bring a bunch of load into my leg. And if I do that over time for years and years and steps, that's where we start to have issues because our body was not designed to move like that. So on the bigger side of the principle, and then we'll break it down into small exercises, once we correct the posture like we did last time, if you utilize the hip joint to lift up the leg, you can basically let gravity take your leg forward and allow it to land, which is a lot less like this and a lot more of gravity doing what it's supposed to do. And when we do that, it allows us to use our feet the way that they were designed, which is to land right here on the ball of your foot. And so the way that your foot was actually designed is for the weight to go on the ball of your foot, your heel to go down, and your heel to go back up, kind of like a spring. So we're going to break that down to just practice that foot pattern. Standing still, we're going to pick up our right foot. We're going to put down the ball of the foot. We're going to let the heel touch, and then we're going to pick it back up. And then we're going to go ahead and do that on the other side. So we can do that together. But basically, yes?
I get put the ball down and then move back, but then you bring the heel up again. I don't get that.
I know, I had a hard time with that too. So it's like, if you think of it like a shock absorber, it feels less efficient, but it actually turns out it's more efficient. So if I bring the ball of my foot, that force on it, right? That's not strong enough to take all the weight. It starts to take the force, but then you want to bring the heel down to take the rest, and then you're using that ball again to turn it into a spring to go back up. So you're taking all the force down, and then you're bringing it back up.
Gotcha. All right.
So standing here, we're just going to bring the ball down, the heel down, the foot back up, the ball down, the heel down, the foot back up. And let's do 5 on each leg, and then let me know when you get to 5. And it feels very awkward to coordinate at first. Just do the best you can. You're kind of light on the feet as you do it because it's a new movement. There's over 100 different muscles and ligaments in your feet. So if you haven't used your feet like this in a while, they might not be super happy to be doing this. Once you've done 5 on each side, I want you to think about alternating sides. So I'm going to pick up one side. I'm going to put it back down, landing on the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, and I'm going to transition my weight to the other side. so that I can alternate my steps and really try and feel and find that springiness. And so it's almost like we're doing a marching exercise, but we're focused more on what's happening on the balls of our feet. Nice. And you should start to feel warmed up and maybe a little tired by now, and that's okay. You can start to slow this down.
But
So,
I guess I'm missing the point when we're walking, alternating, because you put your ball down, then the heel, and then you lift the other leg up so you can't bring the first heel up again.
yes, that's true. So it will be in a different pattern unless you
Okay.
once you start moving really fast, you'll feel it where it feels like, whoa, I'm really springing, like if we were to start running. But you are right. When we start walking, it's just going to go down and up and down and
Okay.
up.
As long as you say so.
Yes. All right, cool. So the next thing we're going to focus on is that posture again. So does anyone remember how we want to line up the feet?
Yes.
Okay, go.
You want to line up with the outside of the outside baby toe and the heel.
Perfect.
Straight in a line.
Yes, that's great. We want to line up that outside baby toe with the bone of our ankle.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
A
a
bone.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're right. That's good. And so once you find that line, I want you to mirror your other foot. And then we're going to move up from there. So now we're at the pelvis. So does anyone remember the cue with the pelvis?
Forward.
Yes, exactly. Forward, we can think about tucking our tail under or tilting that pelvis up towards our face. So it's going to be an extreme version right now. And then we want to take opposite the solar plexus and imagine that we're pushing it against a wall behind us. So if we were standing against a wall, we want our back really flat. And it's kind of like we're bringing our ribs down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That part starts to feel a little uncomfortable. And then with the hands, we want to think about rotating the palms out towards the room. So the pit of our elbow is out towards the room and bringing those shoulders back. And then I want everyone to stand up really as tall as they can and focus on their breath here. So your breath might be smooth, it might be choppy, it might be restricted. In this particular posture, my breath personally gets very restricted. And so it's a matter of finding, okay, what things do I not need to be holding so tightly onto, but I can still maintain this posture. So try to relax some of the things that aren't needed to maintain this stance. And then I just want you to focus on walking around your environment or your room forward, thinking about this nice tall posture and then landing on the ball of your foot first and then your heel. And so take a walk around the room. It could be 10 steps. It could be 20 steps. And just really feel this posture and try and see if you can loosen that posture up. So right now we're walking around like tin men. And I want to see, can you find a more natural rhythm within you for that posture? Can you release some of that tension, but still stay upright? And if you're comfortable, you can walk forwards and backwards, or you can just walk forwards. Nice. Perfect. All right. So the next thing we're going to do in this posture that we're in is we're going to practice balance. When we are in this more ideal posture, it's hopefully going to make balancing on one leg a little bit easier. So I want you to now think about your belly button is your guide. And I'm going to start by balancing on my left foot. So I want to shift my belly button and my center of gravity and all my weight over that left foot. And then I want to engage the hip to lift up the right foot. And then we're going to just balance on this one foot, which is actually harder than it looks. You can add a soft bend into the knee. We're going to go for 30 seconds. So we have 20 seconds left. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. You can put that other leg back down. Take a quick break. If you need to shake everything out, feel free to shake everything out. We're going to get back into our posture, and we're going to do that now on the other foot. So this time I'm balancing on my right foot. So I want to find all those cues in the posture, and then take my belly button, shift my weight over this right foot, engage the hip to lift that other foot off the ground, and you're balancing for 30 seconds. You can add a soft bend into the knee that's standing here. But just try and balance. We have 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and perfect. Nice. How are you both feeling?
Good.
Good.
I feel it in my lower back.
Okay. Is your pelvis tilted forward like this, tucked upwards?
I think so.
So that's perfect. So my guess is that your body is not used to that. So for you, I would say this week, maybe every other day, just practice getting those feet in that posture. And then when it comes time for your hips, just think about tilting them up towards your face this way and hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then release it, tilt it up and hold it and release it. And that will be a good exercise to get your lower back used to this so it doesn't feel so cranky when we're doing it. So you can both find now whatever your natural posture is, or a combination of your natural posture with this posture. And we're going to go back to the step overs. So I want you to focus on doing 6 of them. And think about this time you're stepping over a pretty tall object. So you really need to step over that object, plant your foot down, and step over the object. And you can do this as fast or as slow as you'd like. If you're looking for more of a workout, you can definitely do it faster. If you're looking to be more methodical over the thing you're stepping over, then by all means go slower. But I really want you to focus on not stepping until you're balanced. Yes?
I was going to say, it is work lifting your leg up.
I know, it's much more work than it looks, right?
Right.
And based on how you're both feeling today, is there anything that you want to work on that I can add in at the end?
No, I just have a comment. When you said about, your posture, where do you feel the tightness? It's always my quadriceps.
You feel it in your quad, so I can give you a good exercise. So if you're feeling it in your quads, there's like many reasons why that might be happening. But one exercise that I think can help with it, and I'll show you this, is that I'm going to pretend that this sock is a hand towel. And this is all recorded so you guys can see it later on YouTube if you want the exercises that I'm giving you. But for this particular exercise, I would say you take a hand towel and you roll it up and you put it under your hamstring here, or you can put it under your knee, wherever. But I like to put it about, 2.5 inches away from my knee, and it's a pretty big ball of towel. Yep. And then I want you to just sit on the ground, or you can do this on the couch or the bed. And I want you to think about lifting this leg up off the ground and just tightening this quad muscle and then lowering it back down. Lifting it up and really tightening only that quad muscle and lowering it back down. So what we're doing here is we're just isolating one specific muscle group. And so your quad might be getting cranky because either it's doing all the work or it's not used to doing any of the work. So this exercise is going to teach you how to activate that muscle. And then next time I'm going to give you an exercise to activate the opposite muscle of that. And hopefully then we can balance them out. All right, so once you did the step overs, we're going to go back to those squats. So everything we're doing today is quad heavy, so you definitely will feel it here. So I want you to do those squats. If you have a chair and you want to use the chair as your guide, you can, but you're squatting down until your butt pretty much touches that chair and then standing back up. Nice. And I want you to think about keeping your back nice and flat, perfect, and coming back up. Yes, good. So we're going to go between 6 and 10 of those, depending on how you're feeling. You are the guide of that. So just do 6 to 10 and let me know when you're done. Nice. Those look really good, Joe.
Thanks.
Edie, I can't see yours, but I'm sure they look fabulous as well. Really think that sitting in that chair. Nice.
9.
Cool.
Okay. Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, the next thing we are going to do, just to keep on the theme of the legs, and you can use something to help balance with this. You don't have to use anything. It's up to you. If you want to use something, if you have a chair in front of you, that could help, or a wall. But basically, we're just going to stand in a regular stance, and we're going to raise our heels off the ground and put them back down. And we're going for 10 of these. So this is going to activate our calf. And we're just going to get like a little bit of an all-around workout on the leg. So we should have gotten our heart rate up a little bit with the step overs. We got some education in with the walk and the posture and found some tight areas there. And then we worked quite a bit on the quads. So now I just want to bring that back down to the lower part of the leg. And then once you've done 10, it might feel good, especially for that one, to shake it out. I personally hate the feeling that exercise gives me, but it's really good for your quads. And then the next thing that we're going to do, and this is actually the other part of your exercise, Joe, but it's good for all of us to do. So when we move around in life, a lot of times, this muscle takes over because it's just a bigger muscle and it's easier for it to work. And the muscles in the back, of course, they're always working, but they don't necessarily share the load of work that they're always supposed to be sharing. So one thing that we can do to help think about these muscles is we can just, again, if we want to use something to hold on to, we can. But we're just going to pick up one leg. And for this one, I like to have something to balance against. And you're going to bend it back. And then I want you to think about just squeezing this muscle back here for 3, 2, 1, and then you can release it. And then you pick that leg up again, and you just think about this back muscle and squeezing it. 3, 2, 1, and you release it. And we're just going to do 3 of those on each leg. 3, 2, 1. If that's a muscle that hasn't been used in a while, or you're not used to squeezing it, it might feel very uncomfortable. So if that's the case, you don't have to do 3 whole seconds. You can do 2 seconds, or you can count really fast. But I just want you to pick that leg up, focus on that back muscle and squeezing it, and then release it.
My right leg is the one that I can't do that with.
Mm-hmm.
the other one, my knee was replaced. This one, I can't pull that up. I mean, I can pull it up some, but not.
Not as high. That's okay. If you can't pull it up as high, if you can pull it up into a range that's not painful, you can still focus on trying to squeeze that muscle back there.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it doesn't hurt, I would say just do whatever range of motion you can. As long as the knee is folded a little bit, it's going to target that muscle. And then you focusing on squeezing it will do the rest. It doesn't need to move. Perfect. All right, and then we're going to finish today with 10 more of these heel lifts for our calves. So we have our feet flat on the ground, and then we're just going to lift our heels up and put them back down. If 10 is really challenging, do 5, take a break, and do 5 more. But I know that you can both easily do 10 because I've seen you do them. Nice. This year is going to be such a strange year for Christmas.
Yeah.
I've noticed most people don't have their trees up and stuff.
I put up my little tree this year.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Is it a real tree?
No.
That's better. You don't have to clean it up or water it.
Well, a few years ago, we got a fake one.
Nice.
And oh boy, it took a lot of stress out of
Yeah.
the whole thing.
What about you, Joe?
Well, I think I went down to visit my daughter on Thanksgiving, and they've been very good at isolating. So I'm probably going to go down there again, and they
Nice.
will have their tree up. But they kind of are going out to Western Mass and going skiing, so I'll have the tree to myself.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Hopefully there's some snow for them.
Yeah, didn't think about that. Yeah.
Well, they
sure
apparently got more than we did.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well, thank you both so much, and I appreciate you coming, and I congratulate you for spending the time every week to do this.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
thank you, Jennifer. And say hi to Tim and Wendy.
I will.
You'll be right around the corner from where I live.
Oh,
Perfect.
Fact, if there were trees out of the way, I could probably see their house almost.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so funny.
yeah.
Cool. Well, it was that's good. I'll see you. I'll be back next Thursday, but in the meantime, for Edie, try and do that pelvic tilt exercise. If you think of it like at least 5 a day, where you're just standing here, you square up the feet, and then you tilt the pelvis up towards your face, and then release it. And then for Joe, the exercise where you squeeze those quads.
quads. Yeah.
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 Cool.
All right.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Have fun.